What's going on, everybody? It's Kevin here. Um, Here to do a Sebastian Rogers video. Okay, let's cut to the chase here. Um, this unscrupulous PI is calling out Nick the Hat and this other guy, tagging them on Twitter, threatening them with the court. Looks like he's trying to threaten them with harassment or something like that there. Well, wouldn't him tagging Nick the Hat and that other guy on Twitter, wouldn't that be harassment too? Now your harassment wouldn't stand in court. PI guy, you claim yourself to be a PI. You're not a PI. I don't care what your followers say on your X account. I don't care. In fact, your shitty ass had somebody on your X, okay, get on there and make fun of somebody that's autistic. How sick is that? Oh, that's right. That sounds like somebody I know would be Christopher Proudfoot and Katie Proudfoot, allegedly. You can't get your story straight, buddy. Everything I say is allegedly. So just want to clear that up. But you can't get your story straight. You tell one lie right after another, which is what the people you hang around with, they do the same thing. Chris and Katie, yeah, they've lied throughout the whole thing. Katie even has a laugh, like a little smirking laugh when she's doing that interview. It's disgusting. First of all, even though the temperature won't that cold at night, there still would be dew on the ground. Okay? Now, I don't know how hard that is for Sumner County Sheriff's Office to look at. I don't know. I don't know. She said Sebastian didn't go out the front door. I mean, well, the cameras didn't see him go out the front door, so there's only one other way out. Katie's garage door on the inside to her car or the back door. Now, wouldn't you think that if he left on his own and he didn't go out the front door, no cameras picked up on it, and he went out the front door, wouldn't you think the cameras would pick up on it? Yeah, they would. Stop lying, Chris and Katie. Stop lying, PI guy. Okay, now, to the back door. Okay? If he went out the back door, wouldn't there be footprints? You bet there would be. Don't matter if it was snowing. Don't matter. It was February. The night was in the upper 50s. There's going to be dew and stuff. Just like there is every night. You're still going to have footprints at 6:30 in the morning, between 6 and 6:30 in the morning. You're going to have footprints, you would think. And you would. That leads me to one other door. If they couldn't find any footprints in the back of the back door, then where else could he have went out at? That would be the garage door. That is, if he made it back home that night, which I don't believe he did. It's just me saying. Allegedly. I don't believe he made it home that night. I believe that Chris Proudfoot was not in Memphis as he claims he was. I believe he was at mommy and stepdaddy's house. And then something happened that night in Shackelford Island, Tennessee, Stafford Court. Something happened in that house. Whatever it was enough for her to rid herself and Chris of Sebastian. She didn't want Seth to have him. And you know the old saying, what do they say? You can't have him, I can't have him. No, excuse me. If I can't have him, you can't have him. What does that lead to? Trouble. The walls are closing in on CP, KP, and their PI guy. The walls are closing in. And they're all three going down. And particularly, I think the Sumner County Sheriff's Department, Eric Craddock, should resign. I see on Facebook, and it's disgusting. It's outright disgusting how they get on there and make out how proud they are to serve their community, and then their community just somehow forgets what happened to Sebastian Rogers, and they just, it seems to me like the whole community in that damn county has snuggled up to the Proud Feet. That's just what it sounds like to me. Great. Y'all do such a great job at protecting our community and protecting our citizens. They might do a good job at that, but they damn sure don't do a good job when it comes to finding missing children. Do they do a good job at that? You tell me. Does this unscrupulous PI guy do a good job at finding missing children? You tell me. You tell me. I don't think so. I think he's a crook. Just go on his X account. You'll see what I'm talking about. He's a very nasty human being. And he's got very nasty followers. Not all of them are nasty. Not all of his followers are nasty, but a lot of them are. Especially the one that made fun of somebody with autism. And there's these YouTubers that live in the vicinity that are nothing but a fake clown show. Think you know who I'm talking about. I don't have any use for somebody that would mistreat a child. I just don't have it. Or abuse a child. I ain't got no use for it. I don't have any use for a child that would abuse their parent. That's just who I am. I don't believe in that stuff. I don't believe in abusing anybody. I don't believe in that. But what I will say, I know abuse when I see it. And it seems perfectly clear that there was abuse in this home. Allegedly. There's nothing that Chris, Katie, and the PI guy can do to change my mind. Nothing. This PI guy is a criminal, in my opinion. Look at his past. He's just a fraud. Like he's only doing the things that he's doing to try to throw off the investigation in the case. That's all he's trying to do. That's his goal. That's the Proudfoot's goal. They don't want Sebastian found because they know where Sebastian is. So does this so-called PI guy. He knows as well. He's got the footage. Release it. Release the script. Steve, you want to get on here on X and talk all this shit? Well, why don't you release all the footage that you got? 100%. Why don't you be a man and do it? You want to know why you won't do it? It's because you don't want the truth exposed. You don't want to expose your own proud feet. That's what the problem is. That's the reason why you won't release everything. You want to expose the Proudfoots for everything that they are, and you won't expose the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. Let's put it to you, be honest about that. You don't want to expose Eric Craddock because he's one of your best friends, probably one of your dope heads. Just makes me sick. Just hearing these names that are affiliated with this case just makes me absolutely nauseated. This includes Katie Proudfoot. This includes Christopher Proudfoot. This includes the Bowersox. This also includes the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. And yes, Steve Fishner. This includes you. Because everything you're putting out there on X is nothing but fake. And it's 100% legit false. Anybody that is stupid enough to believe what you put out there, that's on them. That's all I can say. You won't ever be the type of person that Tony is. You just won't. You won't ever be the type of person that Seth is. You won't. Because you're a fucking criminal. That's why. If you didn't have anything to hide, you release the whole footage, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? Don't you think that if one of my neighbor's children went missing or whatever, and I found out where he was at, that I would keep it secret from the cop? Hell no. From the police? No. I'd let them know. In fact, I would go ahead and call the police. I would say, meet me down there at the station. We got to have a talk. I know something about the case. That's what I would say. You won't do it because you're chicken shit. Because you're being paid by the Proudfoots. You don't give a damn about finding Sebastian. All you care about is funneling the money that the Proudfoots are willing to pay you just to keep this case silent. To try to make this case go cold. That is exactly what the fuck you are trying to do. And it's despicable. You are a narcissistic, condescending POS. Allegedly. You get on here and you get on X and you try to bully people, you try to silence them. You get on YouTube, you try to bully people, you try to silence them. Just like the Proud Feet. They want to silence everybody. They don't want Sebastian found. That's it. And their so-called YouTube supporters, until their YouTube supporters piss them off and Chris calls in and cusses them out, hey, they're just right there too. They're right there with the Proud Feet. They're garbage too. Release the footage. Show us the receipt. Steve Fishner. Do it. If you don't do it, you ain't got a hair on your ass, and you ain't no grown-ass fucking man. You're just an old man out there trying to get money off of a missing child's case. That's all it is. And trying to make profit off of it. That's all it is. You're a sick, disgusting individual. Just like the Proud Feet. It's not about finding Sebastian to you guys. No, it's not. It's about keeping the drama going. Keeping it going. Keeping it going. Keeping it going. Every day. Because you're nothing but narcissistic drama queens. If you look up in the mental health disorder book, whatever you call it, Narcissistic personality disorder. And what is it? It's a cluster B personality disorder, which is the dramatic, erratic, and irrational and irresponsibility personality disorder. It's in there with antisocial personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, and histrionic personality disorder. Bet you didn't know that, did you, Mr. P.I. guy? You didn't know nothing about that, did you? Bet you also don't know that antisocial personality disorder and narcissistic personality disorder can be comorbid, which equals, when you got both, there's psychopathy there. So you're representing a fraud because you are a fraud. You're representing a male and a female fraud. And I'm just going to go ahead and stoop down to this level right here. Huh. Shoo. I don't know if I should say it or not. But you know, I always say sometimes, I wonder if the world would be better off without somebody. Well, the world would be better off without people that harm innocent children. And Steve Fishner, he's just a contributor to it. That's all he is. You might think you got people fooled, but you don't, buddy. Yeah, you got the audience that's on the Proudfoot side. Yeah, you sure do, but you ain't got the audience. You ain't got the green. You ain't on the green side. The autistic side, you ain't on that. You sorry ass piece of shit. I ain't like that. Show me proof that Chris's truck got home at 1 o'clock that day. We need actual footage that Chris and his truck come home that day. It may have come home that day at 1 o'clock, but I guarantee you it came home the night before as well. It was a well orchestrated thing that they done. They had it timely planned out. I believe that he bought a burner phone somewhere between Memphis and Nashville. And I believe that he left his personal phone back at the camper and used a burner phone to contact Katie. or he stopped on the way and he got a burner phone. That's the truth. I believe. Don't believe anything that this PI guy puts out there on X, on YouTube. Don't believe their followers. Believe in the Green Party, Sebastian's army. Trust us. We're going to find Sebastian. Trust us. Whether we find him dead or alive, we're going to find him. Trust us. YouTube ain't going to shut up. We're not going nowhere. In fact, we're only getting stronger. So, if Chris thinks that we're just going to shut up and just not say anything about the case and let it go cold like he wants, that's not going to happen. Excuse me. That's not going to happen. It won't. When I think about Chris Proudfoot, do you know who he reminds me of? Christopher Watts. Oh, I wish my children and my wife would just come back home. I miss them so much. I wish they would just pull right up in the driveway. That's what Chris Watts said. Isn't this the same game that Chris Proudfoot is playing? Katie Lynn Proudfoot? Ain't this the same game that she's playing too? It is. Except in Frederick, you don't get away with it. In Sumner County, Tennessee, and perhaps the entire state of Tennessee, you get away with it. I don't even think that I would take my children, if I had children. I don't. In fact, I know I wouldn't. I wouldn't take them on vacation there anymore. I've been to Dollywood. I love the place. I think it's beautiful. But is it worth giving money to a state and then having to pay taxes on when you walk into a theme park? Is it worth giving the theme park? I mean, yes, I understand. I love Dollywood, like I said. But is it really, really worth giving that money where a certain portion of it is going to go to the state of Tennessee that funds shit like the Sumner County Sheriff's Office and shit like the DA's office in Sumner County and shit like the TBI? I wouldn't want to spend my money there. I wouldn't even want to go there. It, it's disgusting. The entire TBI is just a complete and utter failure. Sumner County Sheriff's Office, failure. Um, Seth's not a failure. Though he works for the sheriff's office, he's not a failure because, unlike Steve Fishner, unlike Chris Proudfoot and Katie Lynn Proudfoot, he has to see violent criminals every day and has shit like them to deal with every day to the week. it just don't get no worse than the Proudfoot and the Bowersox and this unscrupulous PI guy. I don't even think they know themselves just how many lies they tell, because they tell so many lies they believe it's the truth, and that's what psychopathy is. Psychopathy is when you believe your own lies is true and you will manipulate others to the point of you don't care if you hurt them, kill them, or whatever. You'll do what you have to do. That's the way a psychopath sees it. To gain control. That's what they do. Narcissistic psychopaths are control mongering, fear mongering, Machiavellianistic, sadistic freaks. That's what they are. And it's disgusting. Chris and Katie Proudfoot and the PI guy, do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor. Release the footage. Release the receipt. That's all I have to say. Until then, you're a fake. And you are fraud. And you've been convicted of it before. So instead of you getting on X and getting in between the people that actually want to find Sebastian and the people that actually want to keep drama going, why don't you get the fuck out of this case? Why don't you shut the fuck up? While we try to find Sebastian. And I blame the federal government, I mean the state government for even allowing the Proudfoots the right to do anything right now. They should be number one suspect. They should be highly interrogated. Damn it. All you need is somebody that can go in there and just give them a real hard. And I mean, I've seen, yes, I know it's in the movies, somebody that'll just beat down on the table and say, tell me the damn truth and tell it to me now. And then have them to redo it and redo it and redo it and redo it. And eventually, after a certain amount of times, the slip up happens. And boom, that's when you got them. They'll cave in. But the Sumner County Sheriff's Office won't do a damn thing. That's the problem. And the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, they ought to have their eye on Steve. But no. No. They want to keep it quiet. They don't want to bring updates once a week like they should. They don't want to talk about it at all, like the Proudfoots basically have ordered. It's something like, I believe that the Proudfoots and the Bowersox, they are big-time politicians in that county and have a certain little bit of a, like, we run this county. Is that why everybody on the Sumner County Sheriff's Department's Facebook page is praising the God out of them? For all the hard work, dedicated work that they do, yet they can't find a missing child. Come on now, fellas. Come on now. Disgusting. The thing that I like about me is, I don't hold, whatever I'm thinking, I don't hold back. I tell it. When I see a snake in the grass, oh, I've seen it. And what I see between Chris and Katie and this PI guy is 3 snakes in the grass. Just sitting there quiet as a mouse. Not moving hardly. Just enough to stick that tongue out to let them know that they're talking. But it ain't about nothing good, that's for sure. I guarantee you that that PI guy knows exactly where and what happened to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Or could it be him himself? Did you ever think about that? Did the PI guy, is he the one that Katie traded Sebastian off with? And then is he the one that had Sebastian sent off? If so, where and where to? Makes a lot of sense, don't it? Anything's on the table. Everybody's suspect. There's somebody that knows where this poor child is. And that is so morbidly, sickeningly, narcissistic, psychopathic enough that they will do anything, go out of their world and do anything in the world that they can to stop Sebastian from seeing his father. And that's just the way I see it. I don't have no use for nobody like that. I never have. I never will. I think people like that should be locked behind closed doors in the pen for the rest of their life. Anybody that'll do harm to a child, I ain't got no use for. Just like if a child does harm to their parent, ain't got no use for them. Anybody that'll do harm to anybody, I ain't got no use for them. But you can bet one thing, right here. Something happened in that house. Whether it was that night or whether it was during that week or so, there had to been something happen in that house for this to transpire. Or it could be that she just didn't want Seth to have him. And that she would go to wit's end to make sure that he never sees him again. This PI guy is stooping to the level that he is trying his best to get Nick the Hat locked back up. He's sending out fake information about, I think, Dog's lawyer or something, saying that Dog only has, that this guy's only represented Dog one time, and he's not representing Dog now or something. I don't know. It's just, he's a liar. He's a narcissistic, careless, habitual liar. Friends be friends, right? Proudfoots, Bower Socks, Fishners. 3 geese in a pond. Damn, that water must be bad. It's just, I don't think I have ever seen a case that has more drama with it than this one. Maybe Summer Wells. Hate channels are going to exist. I call them sadistic channels. Criminals. Addicts. They know the game. Until we get the actual right people in on this, then I don't think we're going to have success finding Sebastian. I like Tony and stuff. I really do. I think he's a good guy. I think he's a good spokesperson, but Seth needs a PI, a certified PI. But they're mega expensive. And he may not have the money to get one. Some of these PIs certified, not like Chuck E. Cheese over yonder. The Potbelly Pig, the unscrupulous PI allegedly, unlike him, Seth, please get you a certified PI if you've got the money. The Bower Sox days is coming. Proudfoot's, Fishner. Fishner talking about how Nick the Hat and all them was going down. Dog's gonna go down. He gonna say who's gonna go down. And if you look at his picture's fake. Now that's one ugly. If I've my God, have y'all seen his face? He's ugly. He's ugly. Oh, oh. So I guess being that he's ugly and stuff, he just feels like he's better off just telling lies with the proud feet. Because Chris is ugly. Katie's, shoo. She looks like she's been drugged through a Katie looks like she's been took behind the barn and just smacked around by Chris. She looks awful. And her mouth is awful because when she's asked questions, it takes her 10 seconds to start to respond. Like she's got to think about what she's going to say. What kind of husband has so much control? You talk about dynamic and dominant control. It's obvious who has the control in that relationship. I don't even know if I believe that Katie's mom and dad, as bad of people as they are, would even have her living back in their house. I don't think Sebastian's at their house. No. Now there is a lot of in the Norfolk area, Virginia Beach area. There is a lot And I mean a lot of military. A lot. And that may be the reason why Seth and Tony, I think, took a drive up there. I'm not sure. But I think she's got ties to more than just um, she's got ties to so many in the military that she worked for and worked with in the military that some of them live all over this country. There's no telling where Sebastian is, what country he may be in. I do believe he's alive. How the hell do we know that how do we know that this is not um, child trafficking? I mean, if she wanted him gone and she didn't want Seth to have custody of him, she would pay for somebody to come and take him. Wouldn't it make sense? That's child trafficking. And in the state I live, guess what that is? Child trafficking. You get caught with it, caught doing it, caught being a part of it, you have to register on the sex offender registry. Regardless or not if the child was sexually harmed. Just because you did that, you have to register. Must not be the case in Tennessee. Tennessee, not the place you want to go to on vacation. Go to the beach. Go to the North Carolina mountains, the Virginia mountains. They're so much better. You won't have to spend your dollar in Tennessee to fund poor government of Tennessee. If you don't go there, you don't have to spend no money there to fund shit like that. Now, when they start to get, the change starts to happen and we start finding these kids, then we can start spending, then yeah, I would go back and start spending money there. Dollywood's a beautiful place. Like I said, I love it. Love Gatlinburg. Love Dollywood. Want to go to Graceland. Been to Nashville. Beautiful city. Tennessee deserves better than what it's getting out of its law enforcement officers when it comes to searching for missing children. TBI. Yeah, I'm calling them out. Yeah, they need a new head as well. Because obviously the right one ain't getting voted in. I I mean, the right head of the TBI is not getting voted in. Just like Eric Craddock. Eric Craddock, to me, looks like a sheriff's officer that should be working in a county with about 3,000 residents total. If he even should be doing that. He's so unqualified for the position. And it just seems to me like that the unscrupulous PI and the Sumner County Sheriff's Office have their heart and their ring and gold just, they're all over with the Bower Sox. It's like the Bower Sox, the Bower Sox and Proud Feet. It's like the Bower Sox and the Proud Feet have them as their right-hand buddy. Like, in that county, they can't do no wrong. They think that just because they're in the county that where their big politician family, his stepfather is a big politician, and he's also a narcissist as well, that they can just get away with anything. I know how that goes. And I do hope, and I'm praying every day when we get up and every night before we go to bed that this child is found, as well as Summer Wells and all the other missing children in Tennessee and in this country. But anyways, I think it's time I get off here and get ready for my next video, either later on this upcoming night or tomorrow night. Gonna do some more analyzing and stuff, but none of those there's nothing that PI guy puts on X that I believe, other than he's a control freak. I do believe that wholeheartedly. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna get off here, and hope y'all have a blessed day. Tell your loved ones that you love them. Because they could be here 1 minute and gone the next. And that's the truth in today's world. And it's unfortunate, but it's true. And give them a hug. Tell them you love them. Because you never know if that's the last time you'll ever see them again. And I pray the Lord that Sebastian is found and put in the hands of his father. And we're going to continue to work to find him. They're not going to silence us. They're going to try to, but they're not going to. They're not going to silence me. They're not going to silence Bullhorn Betty. They're trying to. They're not going to silence a lot of Sebastian's army. They're not going to silence us. We're not going nowhere. We're just getting stronger. We're recruiting. All right, guys. Y'all have a good night. And like I said, tell your loved ones you love them. And hopefully we wake up to tomorrow and Sebastian's found. Y'all have a good night and peace out. Take care of yourself.